Hello everyone, welcome to another show of Relentless Reviews. I'm Joshua Englander, otherwise known as the Relentless Reviewer. Today is September 22nd, 2011, and by gosh, the weather has been terrible today. However, we can make it all positive with a good solid review today of a movie I've been looking forward to for a while. It's called The Debt. Let's check out the trailer.
We followed.
Oh, God.
Only 4 people know what happened here.
No matter what, the truth stays in this room, between us.
What if we could go back? Would it be different?
We can't go back.
We have to deal with it.
Well, what does that mean? Deal with it.
The dead.
All right, well, this movie, first of all, I'm going to say is directed by John Madden. But no, not that John Madden, not from football. I don't think he would be smart enough to make a movie that's pretty good. So, but no, a John Madden that has not had a very good history of making movies, but not also, to be fair, not a very long history. So, you know, a lot of potential for him. So let's get to the review, shall we? Let's first of all talk about the cast, which is basically one of the main points of this movie. It's an all-star cast. There are some very famous people in here. Helen Mirren, Sam Worthington, of course, from Avatar, Jessica Chastain really showing potential as an actress. You have some names, though, that might not really pop out to you unless you live somewhere in Europe or so, such as Martin Koskas, who plays one of the main role actors. We'll get to that. And Jesper Christensen, who steals the show in this movie as the bad guy, Dr. Bernhardt. But also, one of the interesting points is it's produced and is the screenwriter of this movie, Matthew Vaughn, who is the director of my #2 favorite movie of the summer, X-Men First Class. So, should be interesting. So, first of all, the story is one of its main draws, of course, being about 3 Israeli agents who, in the 1960s, were sent into Berlin to capture a doctor who had done some terrible things to people, killed many, many people, and Israelis wanted justice. So they send them off, and the story is deemed the mission is deemed a success, and they're deemed heroes. But as we find out in the movie, that's not exactly what happened, and the story gets very, very interesting, particularly in the middle, and there's some really great scenes that really show off the emotion that the story and really the weight of their mission has on them. One of the other pluses, I think, definitely is the fact that the characters are fantastic. Sam Worthington, I am not really a fan of. You know, he was in Avatar. He was in a lot of other movies, Clash of the Titans, which I hated personally. But, you know, a lot of people have liked Sam Worthington. I personally don't. But he does do a good job here as one of the young agents in the movie. But one of the things that's kind of interesting is how you have 3 characters and 6 different actors. Now, basically going back and forth, one in the 90s when they find out, of course, what the shocker that I can't spoil, otherwise it would be a spoiler. So that's obvious. But it's 6 actors playing 3 characters, and unfortunately that kind of throws off the pacing of the movie. There'll be times where you're really intense and into the action sequences, and then just other times where it doesn't look all that great, or you just are confused about what's going on. I mean, that's really, really not a good sign. And honestly, I was confused through maybe a third of this movie, and I don't want to be confused through more than a fifth of the movie at most if I'm going to really like it. But what makes up for that is the intensity, which is without question maybe the strongest feature. It is without question you are on the edge of your seat. You know, it's just, there are so many scenes where you just really can feel the nail biting and just what goes on with it. There are a lot of cliches in this mission, in that show, in this movie, but the fact is that the intensity is there, and that can really make up for some bad cliches or just cliches you've seen a lot that maybe you're a little tired of. And finally, I gotta say also though, the editing in this movie, kind of going with the pacing, there were some scenes that just seemed like kind of jumpy. They sort of going back and forth, blah, 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 and just sort of making these quick steps towards the dialogue. And I felt that it just looked weird. And maybe that's the director's intent, to make it seem fast. But to be honest, it just made things look even weirder, and it made it look like they really were rushing part of the movie. And that's a disappointment, because when it doesn't rush, the movie does very, very well. So overall, comparing The Debt to, some of the greatest movies this year, I feel like it was slightly overrated. Fans and friends of mine were telling me, "Oh, Josh, you've got to see this movie. This is maybe the best movie of the year. It's amazing." And it's really not. I don't think it's even close to being the best movie. It is a great thriller. You should go see it, but it's not anything really, really, really special because of the things I mentioned. So I think my overall score, I gotta give it an 8 out of 10. There were great characters. There was a tremendous story throughout most of the movie, and some great intensity. But the pacing and the editing really just took away from what could have been a really, really special movie, and maybe even among my favorites of the year. But still, it's a great movie. You should check it out. I would definitely give it an 8 out of 10. So that's another show for Relentless Reviews. I'm Joshua Englander. Of course, you're watching the best review show on YouTube. See us again next time. Thank you for watching.